Hello, everybody. Got a little bit different video today. Today is my very first video entry to a contest. It's for Stephen Higgins and BBG, British Geeky, BGG, sorry, British Geeky Guy, for Rogue One Funko Box giveaway. And they had a couple of questions they asked. One of them was, why do you love Star Wars fandoms? That's a long story. I have a different love for affinity for every movie, starting with Star Wars. I think we all just remember as a child watching it, the trailers. I still watch them now, the older ones, how at the time they looked crappy, but it led into something much greater in Star Wars that blew us away at the time. Even the action figures, when nobody knew 3 3/4, and Mego could have had Star Wars action figures, but they thought, Starsky and Hutch and Laverne and Shirley were bigger properties at the time. So, sorry, Mego. I love Migos, trust me. That's my favorite toy line of all times, but what are you going to do? I remember my parents, I'd seen Star Wars in the theaters. Then they took us to the drive-in. Yeah, kids, there was a drive-in. I actually have one near me still. I do frequent occasionally, which I'm lucky to have. But we went to see Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I know, probably today would be rated R, but back then, you got to play with knives and sticks in the backyard with dirt and come back at 8 o'clock without nobody asking where you were. It's a different time. It's a more civilized time back then. But I turned around in the chair from the car and not even watching the movie, but watching Star Wars without even seeing the voices, hearing the voices from the speaker attached to the car window. I always wonder why they didn't shatter, but they're so heavy, but whatever. The Empire Strikes Back. That's still my favorite movie. It was just a different tone. I love the ice planet Hoth and going into being separated and the despair and ending on such a downer, and doing things at the time to such beloved characters. Now it seems normal to take your favorite character and wipe them out, but back then it didn't happen. Return of the Jedi, I remember standing in line, and as each one of these movies came out, I was a little bit older, and 3 years when you're that young is a big time in your lifetime, big change. And just standing in line waiting for that and watching the first line go through and the credits, and then watching the droids go to Jabba's palace and the first wisecracks 3PO pushing towards R2. A lot of people didn't love the little guys, the Ewoks. Speaking of Ewoks, I remember being made fun of in junior high school for my Return of the Jedi Ewoks t-shirt. What are you going to do? I've been a geek a long time, before geek was chic. Anyways, then going into episode 1, how it kind of reignited the whole fandom. The action figures back in the late 90s did that a little bit, but that really put it in, everybody's household. I was lucky enough to work at KB Toys when episode 2 came out, and I was on the other side of the fandom selling all these action figures and wanting the rarities, and guys coming in, and me knowing exactly what they wanted really helped, get them in and out. And I built a lot of relationships, and guys would call me from toy conventions and asking me what things are worth, and only advice I could tell you is, buy what you like. Don't worry about making money off it. If you enjoy it, buy it. Buy what you feel comfortable paying. Don't let somebody dictate the price to you. Back on path. Episode 3. I think episode 2 kind of was a bit off track, and a lot of people didn't love it, but it was a segue into episode 3 to really find out what happened to Anakin and to turning him into Darth Vader, and how all the strings came together to go back to original episode 4 that we first fell in love with Star Wars. Another question. Why do I love Stephen Higgins' channel? He was actually one of the very first people I ever subscribed to here on YouTube. I recently started making videos and getting into YouTube, and there's a couple of guys, Steven, Nerdy Noob, and of course everybody knows Johnny Tellez. Tellez. They were one of the first ones I really got into, and I followed, and they're very different channels. And I started making YouTube videos because I wanted to build a community of like-minded people I could trade with or talk to and nerdums. And in my inner circle, I don't really have other geeks or nerds to talk to. I can show them a subscription box and like, hey, great, but they don't really care what is in it. They just are happy that I'm happy. But now I can, talk back and forth geekdoms to other people around the country, around the world, and that's exactly why I'm here. I feel like I want to go hang out with Steven sometimes and, talk to his boys. And because he's from Ohio, I believe. I'm from California, so it'd be very educational. I thought it'd be great. British geeky guy. I don't know your channel much, but this is why I joined YouTube, to introduce me to other people. Steven, thank you. I signed up, of course, subscribed to British Geeky Guy's site, started going through some of the videos, and I applaud you. You got a good, cool pop collection, dude. I have not that many, but I applaud your passion. Keep going. Maybe we can do a change box one day. I'll send you some pops. I think I might have found a couple already that are kind of desired upon. I know you can't maybe get them on that side of the pond. But anyways, that's my video subscription. Steven, I just want to say thank you once again, and keep an eye.